Happy to be here. Good to see everybody.
There's something super, there's just something, I don't know what it is about, running into sea turtles, but there's just something like that is so cool about sea turtle experiences. It is really the coolest. Dylan, oh wait, Heidi, what's the coffee of the morning here? You didn't give me the coffee update.
I'm drinking a Maui coffee. It's a red Katuai coffee. It's considered the Cabernet of coffee. It's
Mm.
You make that sound so good.
but I think it's amazing. I mean, once I started drinking Maui coffee all the time, I just can't go back to I can't go back. I appreciate it. And it's grown right here pretty much a mile from where I live. So I know it's
Awesome.
Love it.
Red Katuai, the Cabernet of coffees. And Auntie Joan here agrees that sounds magical, Heidi. And I would agree. Red Cut, I mean, the name itself, Katuai, that's almost like it's got a Tahitian kind of a floral, a Tahitian kind of a vibe to it. And so excellent. Good. Well, thanks, Heidi. I'm going to bring Ashley is joining us there. Ashley, hey, welcome. I'm glad that you made it. Let's talk to Dylan next, who is hailing from the Big Island. Welcome back, buddy. We missed you out. You were sorely missed on the last show. Welcome back.
Yeah, I missed you guys too, but I'm glad to be back.
What's the shirt? What's the weather? How's the microphone? What's going on?
Yeah, we got the Sig Zane from Hilo on today, and beautiful day over here in Kona. It's been I don't know about you guys, but it's been uncharacteristically warm. I feel like this past kind of week or so, and I feel like the rain and trades kind of came back yesterday, and it got a little bit nicer. So, yeah, all good over here on the Big Island. No volcanoes, so there's no vog, so it's beautiful.
Yeah. So it's really been amazing. The volcano, after all 40 years of like nonstop Kilauea, has finally kind of looks like it's kind of stop and starting, but not the way it used to be for decades. I was going to ask you, what's the design on the shirt? I'm going to zoom in. What's the design on the shirt there?
It's a fern. I think it's Lualae is what it's called. Yeah.
Okay. Fern design. All right. I wasn't sure what that was. All right. Good. Excellent. All right. Great. Well, Ashley is with us. Ashley Wasan is from is hailing from Oahu on the windward side. Haley, what's going on? Nice earrings there. What's going on, girl? What's happening?
I agree, Dylan. It's been really hot. My allergies, for whatever reason, I think I'm like allergic to heat. And so I just get all flared up and everything's blooming. But I'm going to enjoy it because we have another month or two where the weather is going to be just beautiful and sunny all the time. Because our rainy months, our winter, it's rain. And then the pool gets cold and I'm a little wimp. So a little breeze hits me and I'm shivering. So I'm enjoying this. This is perfect weather for me. I'll bake in the sun.
Yeah, I think my measure, my sort of empirical informal measure of the weather is how often do I turn on the AC during the day and maybe at night. That's like my thing, right? So now it's like this year. It does feel a bit warmer. I've had to turn on the AC, like I put it on like around, for my office only, I put it on like around 10 o'clock or so, because 10 o'clock is when the sun is kind of beaming into my office and it's kind of warming it up. So I'll put it on at 10. It'll go to like 1, 2, maybe 2 tops, and then I'm cold, so that I turn off the AC, and then the rest of the day is okay. And then some nights. But last night the trades were back, as you said, Dylan. Last night the trades were back, and we didn't need the AC on last night. So
yeah, you're not just like sitting in your stick. Like there was like last week, you're just like sticky, and that's not Hawaii. There is a lot of moisture here, but it's not crazy. It's not really, really humid like other warm climates like Florida and California, and I've lived in those too. Hawaii has honestly got the perfect humidity to warmth ratio, but the trade winds, last week I was sticky.
The trades is what makes Hawaii. The trades is what makes all the difference in the world. If Hawaii didn't have trades, it'd be hot and humid like any place else. But there's a bunch of you watching right now. Mark Whitehill's with us. Hey, Mark. Mark is an alumni from the island of Ohana, as is Auntie Joan. And I want to say hello to Kai Rochelle. Hey, Kai. Nice comment there. Love the comment. Thank you, Kai. Welcome. Good to have you with us. If anyone's found a place anywhere on the planet with better weather than Hawaii, I'd like to know about it because I do not think it exists. I do not think there is better weather on the planet than Hawaii. Hawaii beats it. And except maybe Kanaya for Texas. And you're in oh my God, it's escaping me. I know it's the place where keep everything weird. I know that. That's what the bumper sticker says. Keep everything weird. There's only one place in Texas. For some reason, my mind is blocking it, right? Austin. Except for Austin, Texas, right? Kanaya, you might have better weather than Hawaii.
I was in San Antonio 3 weeks ago for a conference, and it was rough. It was hot. I mean, it was rough. So I don't know if I could agree with that.
It's been over 100. It's like over 100 and all that kind of stuff. Here, Kanaya. It's a balmy 100. Yes, perfect weather at 100 degrees. Yeah, but it's a dry heat.
It was almost so hot it was like uncomfortable being in the pool because it was like so hot. Like the pool water was like 95 degrees. So.
I know you jump in our pool like a week or two ago, and you jump in. It's so unsatisfying. Like, oh, it's so hot, and then you dive in. You're like, oh, it's also hot. And then you go to wash off in the hose, and you're like, oh, this is hotter.
That's why you want to do what Heidi did. You want to get in your paddleboard and you want to hang out with turtles. That's where you want to be because the ocean water doesn't change. The temperature of the ocean in Hawaii doesn't change, winter or summer. It's the same exact temperature. You may feel different on your skin, etc. But you need to be in the ocean. That's the place where you want to be. We got this beautiful place where we're able to walk to. We're so blessed. We're able to walk to this beach right by our house. And my wife and I, it's like whenever we're like flipping out or freaking out about this or that or the other thing, and we need like a total brain reset, it's like, let's go to the beach. Go on the beach, you jump in the water, you kind of resist it at first. You're like, I kind of don't want to go because it's this and that. And it's like, nah. You come up with all kinds of reasons why you shouldn't go, but then you go. And then when you go, you're like, oh my God, I'm so glad we went. I'm so glad that we went. I'm so glad that, right, Heidi? That's what Kenai says, people are baking bread in their mailboxes. There you go. That would be cool. That's what I want. Kenai, I want to see this. Post a photo. I want to see some bread that was baked in a mailbox. That would be really, really cool. That would be really cool. And hey, Kai, bring Tony Edmonds along. I hope Tony Edmonds will join us. I see that you gave him the link to join us. Everybody is welcome. All right. Hey, let's move on. I got some fun news, and let's kind of go over that stuff now. And we got some fun things that we're going to talk about. I found some interesting things. First of all, a beach I never heard of, but I've been to, called Tunnels Beach on Kauai. This has been, let me give you guys a picture of Tunnels because it's it was worth it. They got rated and they won some kind of an award for one of the best beaches in the country, if not the world. And, one look at this is like, man, Kauai, right? Kauai, gang. You got the incredible backdrop of the ocean. It's a good snorkeling beach. Apparently it's a super popular beach. So I want to give a shout out to Tunnels Beach. And thanks Gary Ewing, who took this great photo, and I was able to display it without breaking any kind of copyright laws. You got to always be careful about that. Hey, so Tunnels, really cool. Congratulations to Tunnels. Big Seven Travel put them on the list of the ultimate snorkeling spot. And hey, we're number one again. Yay! Oh, but this time it's hotel prices. Sorry, gang. Sorry for the fake there. Hawaii hotel prices are at the top of the nation during the first half of 2023. Yay, Hawaii hotels led the U.S. markets with the nation's highest average daily room rate of $380 per room night. That's the average. So you're going to end up paying a lot more than that. It's really, you're looking at more than $500 a night, give or take, for Hawaii hotels. That's a bummer, but that's just the way it is. But you know what? That's not stopping things on the Big Island. So this is, again, where vacation rentals, if you have a vacation rental property on the Big Island, you're probably happy about this. The prices are soaring. They've increased by nearly 50% since prior to the COVID-19, despite a decline in occupancy rates. This is according to the Hawaii Tribune Herald. So that's kind of interesting. Another thing that was interesting, we talked about it last week, but I wanted to kind of bring it back we didn't talk about too much last week, but the Governor Josh Green has signed a Hawaii emergency proclamation. And, as soon as I put that up there, I was like, oh, this is a Dylan topic. But he wasn't here at our last show, so I'm bringing it back again because I kind of want to get his take on it, and maybe we'll have like a fun exchange. And then finally, I have a really, really cool story, gang. I'm calling this the Journey of the Ring. This is an amazing story that I want to bring all your attention to. It is an amazing story about so get this. So here's the ring that we're talking about. So there's in 2000, okay, in 2000 there was a President Clinton presented the Kuroda family with a Medal of Honor for Robert Kuroda, or I think either Robert or Ronald, I'm not sure, Robert or Ronald Kuroda, for a Medal of Honor for his heroism in World War II. He was a World War II vet. He died on the battlefield, and posthumously, the president in 2000, President Clinton gives his family a Medal of Honor for his heroism. Now, get this. Last November, a French guy is going in one of the forests near Bruyères. I know I butchered that. Some town in France. He's going through the forest with a metal detector. His metal detector picks up a signal. He pulls a ring out of the ground, and it's this ring right here that you're seeing a picture of. Pulls the ring, and you'll notice it's got the guy's name on the back. It says R. Kuroda. So this French guy spends like months to dig up the Kurodas, and he finds them. This is a Farrington High School ring. It's a ring from Farrington High School that Robert Kuroda wore when he was fighting in World War II. And they believe that this is where he perished. He died in this spot. And so this incredible story about this family that was given this award, but the ring was dropped in the battlefield and was picked up by a metal detector who was found by a Frenchman. And just recently, the families united. The French guy, the Hawaii family went to France to meet with the guy that found the ring. He gave them the ring, and then they invited him to Hawaii. And now he has like this French family and this Hawaii family all together. And I think that is just a unbelievable story. I just had to share it with you. Just absolutely remarkable. And that's my big one. I'd like to know what you guys think about that. Is that a cool story or what? So I thought you all would enjoy that. So, hey, let's kind of talk about this. Dylan, let's talk about my favorite topic here. So Governor Josh Green makes an emergency proclamation, and he declares in this emergency that we have a housing emergency. So there's not enough housing, there's insufficient housing, and he declares an emergency. And the first thing that kind of hit me, ironically, was, okay, let me see if I get this straight. So first, you guys make all these laws, tons of laws through a democracy from elected officials that are elected and reelected time and time again. And they make all these laws that severely restrict development because we want to preserve Hawaii. So we severely restrict development. Prices skyrocket because we don't want development. And now that Josh Green, who was a senator that signed on all those bills, that approved all those bills, that voted for those bills, now is a governor, and he realizes that it's too restrictive. And so he makes an emergency proclamation to get rid of all those laws that they passed. And I thought that was really funny. But that's my 2 cents. Dylan, I want to hear I want to hear the Dylanism on this. I got to hear the Dylan perspective. What's your thought on that emergency proclamation about a housing crisis?
I guess the short story, the headline is I don't know if I've seen anything more fake or just clearly pointed towards optics than anything else. I mean, in recent times here in the state, like everybody knows this is a big hot topic, and of course you want to hold a news conference and talk about it. But the emergency proclamation does 3 things, right? It creates a chief housing officer that is in charge of this problem. It creates a council of people to talk about it, and then it suspends a bunch of laws. But the big thing that all of the news coverage that I read about this, and there was even news that was completely reported wrong about it, this thing expires on September 15th, 2023. So it's going to be in effect for like 2 months. It's ridiculous. I mean, like you can do nothing in Hawaii government or development in 2 months. And so, they announced this thing in July and then it expires in September. And I don't know if it's going to be extended or what they're going to do, but I mean, the practicality and actual effect of anything substantive just completely does not exist. So, very interesting, the type of coverage. And, the first thing you should do is actually read the stuff, right? Like, don't listen to what the news says or what the guy says in a press conference, but actually like read the proclamation and get the details out of it. But yeah, like you said, I mean, this is a much bigger problem than just suspending a couple of laws. I mean, we have plenty of problems, and we've have a lot of discussions about this, right? I mean, most of it stems from our land use laws at the county level, which are a whole nother layer of delays, problems, restrictions. So yeah, I don't know if there's necessarily a solution to this, but definitely this emergency proclamation will do, I predict, absolutely nothing to move us in the right direction.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because I saw that expiration date on September, and I wonder if he's going to extend it again. Like, like remember with COVID, we kept having like extensions every single day, so that'll be one thing, but it'll be interesting. I just thought it was like really a remarkable, and I wonder, like all the people that rightly wanted these laws passed, how are they going to feel now that those laws are being kind of pulled off the books and there's going to be an emergency proclamation? Who's going to suffer? Ashley, do you have anything you want to add onto this one? Any thoughts about this emergency proclamation you want to add?
Yeah, we have something, Bill 56, that passed on Oahu, and I'm wondering if that is in lieu of the emergency proclamation. And it just sort of slid by. It doesn't do anything besides just let certain things go unpermitted to help bypass some of the process. So people got excited because it seemed like you were going to be able to do, it was like this big deal, Bill 56, you're going to be able to do all this unpermitted work if it's interior, and that will help unclog the DPP pipe, so to speak. But it ended up being what everyone already does, and it just sort of redlined it out and just said, you know what everyone already does, it's okay, but you still can't add bedrooms and bathrooms and all that good stuff. You can replace plumbing exactly where it is. You can do window eaves, but it doesn't say windows, which, I work with a lot of investors, so they get, a grumpy neighbor, and they get, slapped with back permitting for replacing windows even. But you can do siding now. You can do your curbs and your sidewalks. You can put up temporary fencing. You can do tents and stuff like that temporarily now without having to get permits. But yeah, I'm wondering if that Bill 56 was in lieu of the proclamation or paired with it.
Yeah, it'll be that. I mean, that's another good one too. Like the things the little things that people did that were once illegal are now okay. The little things, but not the big things. But which is okay. It makes sense. All right. People were waiting for like 2 years to be able to put up a fence, right? For 2 years for a permit.
Yeah, and I saw on Governor, .hawaii.gov that the proclamation was for 12 months. So I'm not sure
that's what they said and the news reported, but the expiration on the actual signed proclamation is September 15, 2023. Yeah.
So that was another.
And then what are they going to do? Like, what is the expedition here? Like, what is it?
It's supposed to. The intent is to make it easier to get stuff developed and bypass like historical preservation and some environmental laws, which of course the Sierra Club and stuff are up in arms about and upset about. So what will happen is then there'll be lawsuits, and then it'll be narrowed down in court, and then nothing will happen for 3 years while we wait for the courts to deal with it. But yeah, there's bigger core issues like land use, like we've talked about on the Big Island. This doesn't necessarily apply to Oahu because Oahu does have like 30% of its land developed, but like on the Big Island, only 4% of the land on the entire Big Island is zoned for any type of development. And so when you have all of these restrictions to do any type of new development, it doesn't really make any sense because you could really rezone 1% more and we'd be at 5%. And so there's no way of overdevelopment or turning the Big Island into a city or something, but you would increase the available land by 20% just by a 1% increase in what's already available. So there's little things like that would greatly contribute to solving the problem, but it's way too simplistic, right? So that's the kind of stuff that you could actually take some immediate action on and then create some ability for people to develop land. This is another big piece of it, is it costs like hundreds of thousands of dollars to take a raw piece of land and then turn it into a subdivided neighborhood where you can build houses on it. And so the government has to find a way to reduce that cost of infrastructure, of labor, of materials, of doing the environmental studies, the traffic studies. There's so many things that go into it. And that's why nobody ever does it. I mean, here on the Big Island, there's like basically zero new development from a mass development standpoint where you build 50 new houses or 100 new houses. This doesn't happen. People build one new house on an existing lot that maybe was subdivided 50 years ago, but it's just way too cost prohibitive. So the only people that do it are the luxury home developers who can build $5 million houses, because that's the only way you can turn a profit. If it costs you $200,000 or $300,000 just to turn the land into a buildable lot.
Or my
And it's not
investors.
just that. It's not just, it's the delays that really, I mean, so many things kill the cost. Heidi, what's the take? Is there any buzz on Maui about this emergency proclamation? Have you heard anything? What's your take on what's going on?
Well, the lack of affordable housing, I mean, has always been an emergency, especially for people that don't have a place to live. So it was just kind of interesting that all of a sudden there's an emergency proclamation. Um, it, I mean, it kind of seemed like a political statement just to get out there and say, we recognize this is an important issue and hopefully some good will come from it. But I guess it is to be seen. There are some affordable housing developments happening on Maui right now. I mean, it's certainly not enough to meet the demand, but it is great. There is some construction happening. I mean, one of the really big concerns on Maui, and especially West Maui, where I live, is just the lack of roads and infrastructure. So if they build a whole bunch of new housing and we still only have the one road, I mean, that could be quite difficult for traffic. I mean, it already is. I mean, if there's an accident or a fire or something, I mean, the road can be shut down, and sometimes you can't get from one side of the island to the other because there's only one road. So, I mean, that kind of infrastructure is pretty important too. So we'll see what happens with all that. It's kind of to be seen. I'm not getting excited yet.
Yeah, nothing to get excited about yet. I think the one thing that I was, and you kind of touched on it, Heidi. I think the one thing that I was, okay, as the I don't know if I'm the sole libertarian in the group over here, a small L libertarian, but as the small government guy over here in the group, what actually shocked me the most is when I was going through some of the some of the online stories about this, and I was reading the comments. The majority of the comments were like, "Yay, Governor Green! Yay, go go go!" And I'm like, wait a minute. He's making an emergency proclamation to grant emergency powers. This is like a huge this is like a huge sort of power grab. I mean, like Heidi said, wait a minute. I think there's like a shortage of good rice emergency at Costco. And I also think that we have a traffic problem emergency. And I think that we have a not enough watered grass on Oahu emergency, and so here's the scariest part, gang. Here's the scariest part. I asked a lawyer about this specifically back in the COVID days, and this was the question: what is the limiting power on declaration of emergencies? What limits? What limits what the governor can declare as an emergency? And take a guess at what the answer was. The answer is there is none. There is none. So to me, I'm more concerned about on a pure policy basis that the governor can declare an emergency, pretty much about whatever he wants to declare it as an emergency. To me, that's the scary part. That's the scary part. I don't care if it's housing or this or that, the other thing. It's one thing to declare an emergency about, okay, we have Hurricane so-and-so coming. Okay, we have to declare an emergency. We have to have to marshal all these resources. We got to get all these stuff together. Okay, it's an emergency. Power lines are down. Okay, but housing, food,
and ironically, this was done 30 days after the legislative session ended, right? So you had 5 months of legislative session where these laws could have been addressed, things could have been changed the right way, things could have been repealed, right? And then instead we wait till afterwards and then declare an emergency.
That's right. You got all these laws that you don't like. Great. We have a democratic process. Put it forth in the legislature. Let's debate the issue and then get rid of these laws, right? No. Anyway, okay, we need to move on because otherwise we're going to bore the hell out of everybody.
Peter on politics.
Yeah, we might as well talk about the rail project while we're at it. Let's just use that. All right, look, we've missed out on everything here. We need to do a market update over here. We need to know what the hell's going on in the market. But before here, let's do this first. We got a couple of comments that we want to catch up on. So we had some comments on the hotel prices of $500 a day. And Auntie Joan says, "Yeah, I can't believe that's higher than New York." We're number one. Auntie Joan, we're number one. I know that. Paul, cool. Paul is staying at the Kahala Hotel at the Fall. Incredibly, about $600 a night. It's one of the cheaper, fancy resort. Gang, secret. Kahala Resort on Oahu is the best deal there is. You heard it from me. don't tell anyone. Kahala Resort is where it's at. It's the best hotel, and it's not the most expensive. It's remote. It's not in Waikiki. You're in a beautiful neighborhood. It's on a golf course. It's a reason why presidents and dignitaries stay there. That's where they stay, and it's relatively. I don't want to call that cheap, but it's the price. The price is right. So there you go.
They just need to
Another comment.
get rid of the dolphins.
What's that?
They just need to get rid of the dolphins.
What do you mean get rid of the dolphins? That's a big draw. Well, I want to pet the dolphins. I want to swim with the dolphins. We want to completely exploit. It's dolphin exploitation. It's total.
They need to let them out into the ocean at night and then incentivize them to come back or something. Man, I was sleeping at the Kahala Hotel on the dolphin side, and all I heard was their sad fin just flapping in circles in a small, like going insane. I was going insane for them. I was like, if I had to stay in this room even for a day, I would go insane. It just hurt my heart. I was like, how can I go advocate for the dolphins without getting my name out there as being like the crazy Ashley Dolphin Karen or something?
Hey, well, you know what? You just did here. It's safe. It's safe with you and me and all the other people that are watching this and the thousands of millions of YouTube people. Hey, you know, leave it up to you. Thank you, Ashley, for bringing up, you know, save the dolphins. Somehow you knew that the dolphin was sad. God bless you. You must be some sort of a dolphin empath that understands dolphin emotions remotely. You speak dolphin. Yeah, exactly. Now Kelly's talking about awesome. And Kelly, I think you're talking about the ring story, which was an amazing story. I mean, that was just an incredible ride of that ring. And Auntie Joan agrees that is a chicken skin story. So I'm glad you all agreed that. And so that's kind of cool. And Mark, all right, buddy, libertarian too, with you. All right. You know, libertarian, I don't know, man. Libertarians, you know, we're these crazy people who want less government and want to be more free. I know it's radical. It's an extreme right wing position to want to be free these days. Sorry about that, but hey, let's get off of this now. We're done. Next slide, please. Heidi, give us the update. What's going on in what do you see going on in the Maui market? How are things coming along? What trends? What do you want to share about Maui's market today?
Well, the trends continue that we've discussed the last couple of shows. I mean, it's a slower overall market than it has been in the past with less sales happening. But I mean, prices are strong and stable year to date. Condo prices on Maui are up. I mean, there are segments in the market where condos just keep making significant new highs, even compared to earlier this year, especially in the resort and vacation rental market. And then there's other segments of the market where we've seen, you know, a little bit of cooling, a little softening of the prices, some of the residential condos. And it's interesting because there's some properties that come on the market you have to go for right away. And then there's other sellers that are kind of pushing the prices because of the low inventory, just pushing the prices higher and higher. And some of those properties are sitting. So I guess the takeaway is it is important to work with an experienced buyer's agent, somebody who's an expert in the particular market you're looking in, because it's a bit tricky right now. But yeah, don't bet against the Maui market. It keeps on going. I mean, people that have been waiting for that huge deal or, you know, that half price off sale, we don't see that happening.
Man, you said a mouthful, Heidi, which is don't bet against the Maui market. And I would extend that to say, do not bet against the Hawaii market, man. Anyone that's betted against the Hawaii market has probably lost. The only way, to me, you could beat the Hawaii market is if you could foresee the future. If you could foresee the future, then you would have saw the Japanese crash back in the early 90s. You would have foreseen these, but no one foresaw these things. No one did. And the market is, and COVID, but on the resiliency of the market was remarkable during COVID. We were all kind of shocked. I mean, even we were all kind of thinking, okay, what's going to happen? But bam, nothing happened. In fact, the prices went up. Dylan, what's the update? How's the Big Island doing? What's happening? Despite the emergency proclamation, what's happening on the Big Island?
The kind of big headline for this past month was we had it's been a kind of erratic sales activity numbers. So we had like 400 sales in May and then 480 sales in June, and then we're back down to just under 400 sales in July. And so that's a pretty big swing, right? I mean, we're talking about like, almost a 20% swing month over month. But that's primarily driven by our inventory just actually continues to decline. I mean, we were kind of creeping up to 2,000 total units on the market a few months back, and then it kind of creeped back down, and then we're actually under 1,800 right now. It's been kind of hovering between 18 and 1,900. So, and I always talk about putting that into historical context, right? Pre-COVID, we were talking 3,500 listings was what was normal on the island, and now we're at 1,700. And so the number of sales, although the number of sales seems like it's lower, that's really driven by the lack of inventory. And so median price is pretty much solid. The market continues to move forward. It's just it's very interesting to see that the listing inventory just isn't coming back. And I've been seeing lately that there are a lot of financial advisors and lenders that are recommending that people just rent their home, right? If you want to upgrade, you don't sell and then upgrade, or sell and then downgrade. You just rent the current house that you have, because you have that low interest rate, that low payment. You can cash flow it with rents being so high right now, and then just buy a second home at a second mortgage. And so I think that's part of it that's driving it, is that people are holding on to those low interest rate, low mortgage payments. Because if you bought in 17, 18, 19, like, you basically have doubled your equity in a home, and you potentially have, a sub 4% interest rate. It's easier to then just rent the house out, maybe cash flow it for a couple $1,000s a month, and then go qualify for a second mortgage if you have income. So yeah, that's the short story, is low inventory.
I'm coming to it. It seems to me that what's going to be interestingly kind of going on is that I think because of the higher interest rates now, people don't want to sell, because if you sell, you're just going to get out of your low interest rate home and go into a high interest rate home. You're paying a premium for that. So if you don't really have to move, you're not. And this explains why there's a reduced available inventory. Someone's got there's some doors being slammed in somebody's background there. There's a reduced inventory, and that's accounting. It's this high interest rate that's resulting in the reduced inventory, but it's that same reduced inventory which is driving the maintenance of the higher prices, or prices going up, like Heidi said. Don't bet against the Maui market. So it's these interest rates, to me, are the double whammy between a reduced inventory and therefore a maintenance of high prices, which also tends to signal to me that this market's not going anywhere. Not to say stagnation, but it's not going to stagnate. But the market's not going to be going anywhere. There'll be the reduced sales volume is going to be a case, which is going to make it harder for realtors to make their thing. But that's kind of my quick take. Ashley, what's your take? What's happening on Oahu? What's going on? What do you think?
So Oahu, I'm just speaking on single families and condos, not land and vacant land, but overall, our official statistics haven't come out for July, but just kind of looking at the MLS, single family homes have gone up a little bit in sales price for the median, and condos down a bit. And that matches the price per square foot as well. The price per square foot is down on condos versus single families. Closed sales, I believe as of now, about 680 for both single family and condos, which is almost to par of what was in January 2021. But speaking on the inventory side of things, for new listings, typically our summer market is our peak market. Historically speaking, June, July, those are when we have the most amount of inventory, I think, like most markets. And we have very low. For new listings, for example, it recorded about 856 new listings for single family and condos July this year. And if we go to July last year, it was 1,104. If we go to 2021, it was at 1,244, and so on and so forth. So we do have historically low inventory for a July market and August market. Definitely but we're not seeing crazy, high prices above asking price either. So again, it just puts the buyers in this really prime position to be able to still get a home at market value, get a credit, or get negotiations in place that benefit them, buy down the interest rates, and they're getting fair market value. And for sellers who are looking to sell, you still have an advantage because you have lack of inventory. So honestly, we're kind of in a perfect housing market for buyers and sellers.
There you go. It is a perfect buying market for housing and sellers. I mean, and from the way that you described it, that seems to be the case. I mean, we've got this interesting piece, right? Where right now there's not a lot of volume. There's not a lot. I mean, there may be some volume, but there's not a lot of inventory. It's keeping prices up. So gang, for those of you that are looking at this, like Heidi said, don't bet against the market. It ain't going to be moving anytime soon. And of course, if you're going to do it, and if you can do it, this is a good time to buy it. Anybody want to throw any more comments on what's going on here? Any more insights? Okay.
Yeah, I'll just
ahead.
add, I mean,
Heidi.
people are kind of waiting for interest rates to go down, but if interest rates go down, that's going to drive prices up. So I don't think waiting for that is necessarily a good strategy. I mean, like I always say, I mean, when you can afford to buy, when you're ready to buy, I mean, that's the time to buy. The market's always going to be changing.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, if waiting for rates to go down is not going to make the prices go down, because prices will go up because they can't, because it's going to it all comes back down to that monthly payment, right? That's the real price of real estate. It's not the price of the house. It's the price of the month. It's the monthly payment. That's like the price of the house, really. And that's not going to change because, like you said, if
people are waiting and like, oh, I want to wait until next year, or I want to wait 6 more months. I mean, at that point, you can refinance after 6 months if the interest rate is worth it, right? If it's 1% or 2% or less, then it would be worth it. But if you wait a year and say your rent is $4,000 a month, which is sort of the going average right now, it's almost $50,000 that you've just spent in rent that you'll never see again, right? And versus buying the house and then refinancing if the rates go back down. But I think people are so hung up on these rates because for a few years we had great rates. But if you look, just historically speaking, we still have good interest rates. I mean, for a majority since 60s, 1970s, they were really high 8s to double digits. And if it goes back down to 6%, you're not saving crazy amounts of money between 6% and 7.5%. And you can get credits to buy that interest rate down right now. And you can get those credits from the seller or from the lender.
If we have any silver-haired folks in the audience there, I'd like you to kind of comment on what you recall to be the highest interest rates you can remember. If I'm not mistaken, this will be kind of a fun historical. Somebody Google this, please. I think a fun historical fact. I remember during the Carter years, the good old Carter years that we all want to go back to, interest rates were something like 18%. It was some insane, crazy high number. So you're right, Ashley. We all got spoiled. We all got spoiled with like 2%, 3%, 4% rates. I don't think those days are coming back, gang. I don't think those days are going to be coming back anytime soon.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm old enough that when I bought my first house, it was 6.5%, and we thought that was great at the time, 2005 or whatever.
Look, Jessica, thank you, Jessica Morris. My first house was 8% and 98. There you go. Exactly. So those days of like next to no credit are gone, or next to no interest rate are gone.
0.6.
14.6. Thank you, Ashley. 14.6%. Think about that, everybody. 14.6%. And actually, there were some people who took out mortgages for 14.6%. Think about that. Here, Auntie Joan. Thanks, Auntie Joan. Although I gotta say, Auntie Joan looks fantastic. She just had her 80. We that picture, that profile picture, is her 80th birthday. She looks fabulous. But when I bought my house in California in the early 80s, the interest rate was 10%. 10%. Right. So, you all don't know how good you got it right now. That's what the old man on the get off my lawn. You all don't know how good you've got it right now. Back when I was young, blah, 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 blah. Hey, look, gang, we're going to move on. So go ahead. Any other comments? Anybody? Dylan, you're going to, okay. So gang, look, we're going to move on. Look, if you got some questions, pop them in the comments right now. You've been watching. There's been a lot of dialogue here. I do want to take your questions first before we kind of get the canned questions I've got ready, and before we move on to other segments of the show. So please pop it in comments. Anything you want to ask us, anything, we'll go for it. Trust me. Okay. Really quick, a plug. Listen, gang, the Islander Ohana is filling up quickly. I think it's going to sell out. We're going to start our Islander Ohana. Our next cohort starts on September 16th. You want to go to islanderohana.com, fill out the form that'll get you started in the registration process. You want to get involved. Ask the people that have gone there. Look at I got the testimonials on the site. This is a fabulous program. I am super, super, super happy with the results. Everybody who goes through it, lives get transformed. People move to Hawaii. Some others, it shows them that Hawaii's not for you. We've saved some families from potential disaster. So either side, you want to get into the islanderohana.com and join us in the transformation. All right. Why don't we do this? We got a little bit of time. I want to kind of ask a classic question over here that I think we all dream of. Everybody dreams of these questions in Hawaii. So we want a home with a pool near the beach, and I kind of want to hear what you folks say. So Anne from California, Anne and Tracy from California said, "Hey, are there any non-fixer uppers like hotel, house, condo, townhome with swimmable pools, meaning that you can lap swim around, 40 foot for me, but a pool on any island that has low crime, short drive to snorkeling and swimming beaches in the 500 to 700K range, like a 2-bedroom bath minimum, or what would be looking at a cost-wise under $1 million. For what I've been able to see, residential homes are over $1 million, and I'm assuming anything that will not have a pool. So how would we answer Anne's question? Anne looks like she's looking for some kind of a place. Can you get something? Can you get a home for under $1 million? Again, the quick answer to that's no. But near the beach, or in the 500. What could you offer someone who said, "Look, I want to be near the beach. I want to have a pool so I can lap around the pool. What can you get me? Can I get something under $1 million? Something." So we're going to open this up. Something. What would you recommend if someone said, "Look, under $1 million, near the beach, with a pool, do you have anything?" Let's go down the line. Heidi, then Dylan, and then Ashley. Heidi, how would you answer Anne from California?
Yes, you can find a condominium for under $1 million, absolutely. And a lot of condominium complexes do have nice pools and are near the beach. Primarily, you'd find something in Kihei, which is South Maui, and then there are some options in Lahaina, Honokawai on the west side. For $500,000, you might be able to get a 1-bedroom for 6, 7, 8, 2-bedroom, just depending on the community. But yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so if your target is $1 million and you're okay with a condo, then it's doable near the home with a pool near the beach. Dylan, what are the choices on the big on for a home with a pool near the beach?
Home, yeah, definitely pretty much out of the question. And beach is always a quantifiable term, right? Like beach. There's homes near the ocean, but there isn't a beach, right? So there's plenty of places on the Big Island where you can be close to the ocean, but not have access to a beach. So that's something that has to be kind of specified. But I always bring up the fact that you really got to examine your preconceived notions. Is that exactly what you want? Because to me, having a pool near a beach is kind of a waste of time, waste of money, because you can just go swim in the ocean. Right? So unless there's some reason, you need a pool, a lot of times what we see is, what I generally see is pools are grossly underutilized here. And people think they need one because they're coming from a place where you don't have access to the water, or the water's 50 degrees or whatever. So they don't normally go into the ocean. But I know most people that buy here hardly ever use their pools. So the kind of mental decision that I want a pool sometimes is based off of like the wrong preconceived notion. And so that's something I always try and have people really examine and think about and dig deep into. Do you really need a pool? Because that can be a big cost difference, right? $100,000 sometimes or more, depending on what it looks like. But yeah, if you're near the water and you like to swim, you can just jump in the ocean and it's 75, 80 degrees and you're good to go. And in most cases, you can get in pretty easily. And on the other islands, Big Island's a little bit more rocky than others, but in Oahu and Kauai especially, there's tons of areas where it's long, white, sandy beaches, calm water. You don't need a pool.
That's so funny that you mentioned that. As you were saying this about the pools underutilized, it reminded me about one of the first one of the first condos I moved into when I first moved here. So I'm in my early 20s, and I'm in this really cool condo, Waipuna, on Oahu in Waikiki. And I had this insane view of the ocean, and I was like surfing every other day. And this condo had like this insane pool that not only did I never ever once go in this pool, I never even saw it. I never even saw what the pool looked like. I didn't even go out to look at the pool, so, it's very well said, and it could be a boom. If you're a hardcore pool, like if you do like Olympic laps or whatever, and you're a hardcore swimmer, then the pool is great. I mean, if you're going to use it, but very true. A lot of condos, I mean, and I lived in a few other condos since that. Just actually one more condo since that had a pool. And again, no one, it was always open. There's no one in the pool.
And there's no one's in. Not only did you never go, nobody ever went there, period. Right?
It was always empty. Maybe on the weekends, like you had some families there, but that was about it. So good. Ashley, what's your advice for Anne from California? Where would you recommend if she wants to look for a pool? A home near the beach with a pool. What would you say? Under $1 million. What's her choices?
In a good, safe neighborhood.
In a good, safe neighborhood. In a good, safe neighborhood.
Okay.
Not that we don't have not that we have bad, unsafe neighborhoods in Hawaii, but a good, safe neighborhood, relatively speaking.
Condos. I think based off her question, she seems to be more privy. I don't know. I'm getting the feeling of a single family. But yeah, you're probably looking at condos. There's some in Punaluu that are really affordable still. They're under 500,000 or around 500-600,000 for a 1 to 2 bedroom right on the beach. And that's on the east side of the island. And I believe one of us have a pool. In fact, I know one of them has a pool. And then you have Kailua. There's, Kaneohe more, Ali'i Shores. That's by the bay, not really a sandy beach, but more for like boating or snorkeling and going to the sandbar. You have Eva Beach. So old Eva, you might find some houses that hover around the $1 million mark that you could get to the beach, or even some of the gentry homes, you could get biking distance to the beach, and they have community pools there. You have your maintenance fees though, and some of those are single families. So there's a few under $1 million. Probably not what you're envisioning though.
You surprisingly skipped over anything in the Kaka'ako area or anything in the Waikiki area. Is there nothing around there?
That's true. I think I was thinking more of in that single family realm, but yeah, you have all of downtown. I mean, technically you have a plethora of options if you want high rises in downtown. You've got Ala Beach Park, you've got Waikiki Beach, and there's volleyball and movie nights and Friday fireworks, and you have all kinds of great things to do downtown in the condo life. And you could definitely find something, maybe not a 2-bedroom that's nice under $1 million, but you could definitely find something that has a pool close to the beach.
Yeah. All right. So basically, the long story, the headline here is you can definitely do it if you're okay with a lot of choices. If you're okay for a condo, house, different story. Probably not going to be something that you're going to want to move into or even available like on Maui, whatever. Big Island again. Dylan's big headline here is and you really kind of, you probably don't need the pool the way you think you did, but it sounds like Anne's like a pool lapping kind of a person who wants to do like Olympic laps. And again, I would recommend a rough water swim, man. Ala Beach Park is a rough water swim that goes from one side of the beach to the other. It's a hardcore. If you want to lap that.
Yeah, tons of people lap Ala Beach Park, and there's plenty of condo options right there in Kaka'ako and Ala Moana under $1 million for sure.
Yeah, and
they have pools.
There is no better lapping pool I would argue there is no better lapping pool on the planet than Ala Beach Park. It's this incredible thing that was dug out, gang, a long time ago. And it's deep water, but it's completely calm. It's inside of the reef. And you could lap that thing all day long. Yeah. We got some comments over here. So, hey, Kenai, thanks for commenting. Yeah, we went to many open houses, but not many true 2 bedrooms. Well, yeah, that's where it's all at. And Heather, by the way, Kenai is an alumni of the Islander Ohana, as is Heather. Heather is also an alumni of the Islander Ohana. I just realized that all public pools are free. You just need to look at the schedule. Yeah, that's they're public pools. But Heather, the best public pool is the ocean that's right by your house. That's the best public pool. I mean, I don't know. City kid, Chicago, yeah, summer months, the pool was where that's all. Well, we had the lake, but the lake was like, me was far away, but we got the ocean, man. Got the ocean. Get the salt water. It's the best. There's nothing better.
That's the biggest benefit to the price of paradise, right? If you don't utilize the ocean, why pay the high housing prices and the high cost of living? I mean, to me, that's 90% of the value of living in Hawaii is the ocean. So
unless you're a swimmer like Heather. I'm a swimmer. Our condo has a pool, but it's not 25 yards meter. I belong to an aquatic club to do swimming, but yes, of course, I prefer to swimming in the ocean. That's the qualifier. So Heather, thank you. You're a swimmer. And if you got to do the lap thing, then a pool is the way to go.
But Heather makes a great point. I mean, the county pools are all open and free. A lot of the high schools have public hours for the high school pools. So there is a lot of, if you want to do like 50-meter lap swims, there's lots of those available in every community.
That's a really good question. I wonder, East Honolulu, Kaiser High School has a big pool. I wonder if Kaiser has a public hours. That pool
a lot of times it's like in the morning, like 8 to 12 or something like that, because in the afternoons they have the kids' activities and the sports and stuff like that. But normally in the mornings it's open to the public.
Yeah. Excellent point. And thanks, Kenai, for clarifying. Under $1 million. Yeah, under $1 million is. Under $1 million we a couple of shows ago, Kenai, we talked about this. $1 million is kind of right down the border. You really kind of need to kind of kick into at least the 1.2 at least to get yourself into the market for a home, single family home these days in Hawaii. Ashley, do you have a comment you want to make about there? Oh, okay. All right. Let's do this, gang. Let's move on. So I'm kind of curious to kind of see what the gang has kind of planned here for us to take a look at for today. Our diamonds and deals. Why don't we kind of go through that? And wow, what a great photo. What do you got here, Heidi? This is fill me in on the details.
This is a 5-acre estate in Pu'unoa Estates, which is a gated agricultural community. Just up the side of the mountain, pretty much from Laniapoko area, Beach Park. And the home has amazing views. I mean, you can see that shot of the infinity pool and you're looking into the sunset. It's a 5-bedroom, 5.5-bath home, 5,777 square feet. There's also a beautiful barn and a 2-bedroom, 2-bath cottage, over 100 different fruit trees. You could have horses there. I mean, it's just a magnificent property, plantation style. And sometimes you just go to a home and you're just truly inspired, like how amazing it is that this is here. And
unbelievable. Did you happen to visit this during a broker's opener or anything, Heidi? Have you seen this? Have you been on this property?
I did. Yeah, I visited it on Wednesday, and
it sounds like you've been there
too.
What's that?
Yeah, I took a lot of my own pictures and video too. I mean, this home it's truly amazing.
Yeah, boy. I mean, it's something, right? Because Hawaii, I'm jaded, I'm sure, but next level homes in Hawaii are like past next level. They are insane. They don't nothing compares. I mean, if you take some sort of an estate in Hollywood or some sort of an estate on the East Coast or what, I'm sure it's really amazing. I'm sure it's totally cool, but nothing compares to an awesome home in Hawaii. It's just next level. Mark put in a quick comment that I want to recognize here about near the beach is relative. Very true. We live near the middle of Oahu, in the middle of Oahu, but we're still hundreds of miles closer to a beach than we're in Oklahoma. And we love being equidistant from every beach on the island. Yeah, you guys you're right smack in the middle of Oahu, and you're still way the hell closer than you were in any beach in Oklahoma. So, Mark, big aha moment. Hawaii beats Oklahoma any day of the week. Absolutely, it sure does. I would agree with that. And Hey, Judy, welcome. Judy is also an alum of the Island. It looks like all the Islander folks are back on with us. Great to have you all here, and great to have you here with us. Judy's making a big move, a big move to a big place, hanging out with, got connected through Dylan to her group. All right, let's get to our next exciting property over here. Ashley, this is yours. Fill us in. What do you got?
So I saw what was on the deck today, and I was gonna do something that was parallel.
You can't cheat. You can't cheat.
I know.
You have to do it
I didn't mean to.
spontaneously.
My eyes, and I normally don't, just to be clear, like sometimes we just unanimously have these, like, I don't have time because I'm doing it right before it starts and I didn't even look. But today I was a little on it because last time I was running late. So I was like, oh, I should try to match the energy here. But you know what? I didn't. So all authentic always is. This is actually one of my listings. It's a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom. One of the investors we work with had fully renovated this home, brought it back to life, just helps clean up the neighborhoods. They did a fantastic job. The contractor on this one just goes above and beyond. They did this accent wall in the back, and I know how expensive this walling is because I opened up a podcast membership studio in Hawaii Kai, and I have this, and it is expensive. And then they trimmed it out with some in-wall lighting, strip lights as well. And they listed at 1.349, and it looks over to Townside, over the freeway. You've got tons of storage underneath this house, and it had a lot of interest, tons and tons of interest. Great neighborhood, right by Tripler, right by the airport. It's right around, like, you come out to this quiet neighborhood and you just hop right onto the freeway in either direction. Honestly, houses in this area don't stay on for long. These are multi-generational, not homes per se, but people who live there. They don't move and sell very often.
Is this in the Moanalua area,
Yeah.
Salt Lake, Moanalua area? Yeah, that is
Gardens.
Yeah, that is I love that. That is a beautiful valley. And you made a quick mention about it, but I don't know about you folks, what your experience has all been and kind of what you like. But one of the big things for us when we look for a home is we always think about, how close what's the freeway? What is the freeway access? How quickly can you get off and on either a freeway or a main thoroughfare, right? A main thoroughfare, some kind of a thing, quickly, because that to me is a big deal about the commute. Yet you can't be too close, because if you're too close, then you're going to get the freeway noise. So you you don't want to be on it. You want to be off it, but not too far off it. That's always a big
But with traffic too, in this part of the freeway doesn't bottle up with traffic. So it really is like, it's a super ideal location if you're trying to be close to town, but outside.
Right. No, it's a great and it's quite central in a sense. In that sense, it depends on where your actual work is, but yeah, it's a great area and great neighborhood. Nice, beautiful house. The pictures look fantastic. What a great contractor. Excellent. Okay. All right. Oh man, what's this? Man, we're going on the luxury cruise here. All right, Dylan, what is this?
Yeah, this is just a killer house that just came on the market. 4 bedrooms, 3 baths on an acre of land. I kind of made me think of like Heidi's, but this is like a mini version of Heidi's, right? So this is like if you only have $2 million to spend, here's another good option. But there's your pool. I love the Ohia posts in the lanai there. So big, huge lanai, like like 800 square feet of covered space where you got the couches and additional living room areas leading right out into the pool, and a killer ocean view, and at a nice elevation too. So you really won't need air conditioning or anything like that. So yeah, just a killer option. I mean, this is what you can get over on the Big Island when you're comparing options. A lot of times you can get a little bit more for your dollar over here, and I don't expect this one to last very long. I mean, high-end finishes all around, just a beautiful property.
Man, so I got a quick question. Now, Dylan, did Dylan and Heidi, did you see each other's property before you posted it?
No, we did not.
There you go. That's it, man. And you can't see it clearly in this picture. I mean, you have to look closely at this picture, but you do see those posts, as Dylan was saying. Those are Ohia tree posts. They're these majestic, incredible, natural giant logs, and that is a really, really, really cool feature. Really, really cool feature. I've seen that in some homes on the Big Island. That is an amazing. And Heather, there's your lapping pool, girl. There's your lapping pool right there. Lapping pool's right there in front. Stunning, really, really stunning. Great views. Heidi and Dylan, and Ashley too. But like, wow, what an amazing property there. And there you go. See, right? Exactly. That's it. That's my fave, Dylan. That's my fave, Heather.
See, you can
there
see
you go,
why I
man.
wanted to match the energy. I was like, this is a
That's
luxury cruise. And I was like, no.
I could see that. I could see why you want the match. I could, and I will bet that if you just kind of spontaneously, this is the trick. Actually, you have to spontaneously let it flow, because then like all the energies of the universe, right?
Yeah, it felt forced. Like it wasn't organic. I couldn't lie. I already had it planned.
That's right. You have to let the energy flow, man. You have to let that. Actually, you have to let your inner dolphin express itself and just like come through and let that all pop out. No, that's great. Hey, what do y'all think, gang? Some amazing homes. Heidi, I'm still, for some reason, Heidi, I was like tuning into. That's why I asked you. I said, did you go here? Because the way you were describing it, I could tell. It's like, okay, this girl saw this property. She was there, and I was right. It was right. It was like there's some properties that you go to, and they just kind of just blow you away, right? And that's I knew it. All right, cool. All right, gang. We're almost done over here. Let's move on. We got our famous, fabulous closing thoughts, and make sure. Hey, look, folks. You're all part of regular. Oh wait, I got a couple things over here I want to recognize. I want to recognize a few folks first before we get on. I want to recognize Mike and Terry Bland, Kansas City, Missouri. Hello, Peter. Hello, Mike and Terry. Welcome. Hope you are enjoying. I hope you're having as much fun as I am for today. It's been a great show. And Mike throws it out there. There you go. See, look at it. There's a little. You just connected right there, Mike. Aloha, Mike, Kansas boy, born and bred, lived in Kansas City for a few years. Awesome. Well, thanks, Mark, for making that connection. Just want to recognize that. Thanks, folks. I'm glad that you're all here. Okay, we're going into closing thoughts. If you've got. What is, we talk about our closing sort of motivational kind of closing thoughts, motivation thoughts, wisdom. Usually we all have some folks who pop in one or two. We'd love to hear what your closing thoughts are. What is big on your plate? Let's start with you, Ashley. Give us yours and why it's meaningful to you.
Giving is the secret of abundance. I live life and business as a go-giver, and people are like, well, in the market like this, in a real estate market like this, there's a lot of just agents who are not renewing their license or, just kind of stepping down because it's not easy, right? And they're always like, how did you make it? How'd you do it? And I was like, there is no secret sauce. You just give to everyone and you just do your best and you just serve others and it comes full circle. And I don't know, it's the law of abundance. Give it it comes back.
That's right. You're absolutely right. Did you say, I caught it, you said it quickly, but you said I'm a go-giver as opposed to a go-getter. You're a go-giver. Is that what you said? That was really cool.
A go-giver. Yeah. Give first.
There's a book called The Go-Giver. It's great.
There's a whole series too of The Go-Giver. It's a great series. Somebody recommended it. They said they told me, they're like, wow, you're a go-giver. And they actually sent me the book. And I've actually sent the book to other people too, who I come across, and you can just tell who just give a lot and expect nothing in return. And that's who I like to do business with. That's who I align myself with. And our whole team is like that. You guys are like that.
Go-givers. I love it. Go-givers. I love it. Well, and Auntie Joan is giving us her wisdom. Excellent. Thank you. The past is in your head. The future is in your hands. Awesome. That is a great quote. Auntie Joan. Thank you for sharing that. That is a good one. All right, let's share Heidi's motivational thought. Heidi, what's yours and why is it meaningful to you?
A year from now, you may wish you had started today. So I love this quote because whenever I start having thoughts, oh, I wish I would have done that, or I wish I would have done that last year or 5 years ago, it's just a reminder. I mean, there's always time. I mean, every day is a new day. To start something. So don't waste your time looking back, wishing you would have done something in the past, because in the future, you may look back wishing you would have done something today, and today's the day. So Go for it.
Today is the day. You mentioned this, Heidi, in terms of you a lot of times. Well, we all do. Certainly, I do. We look back and say, "Man, I coulda, shoulda, woulda. I wish I would have done that back then. If I would, But one of the best things I've always kind of learned, and also there's another element as an entrepreneur, highly competitive. I'm always kind of used to be sizing myself up against others. But the one piece of wisdom I heard, which I really, really liked, was that don't measure yourself against if you measure yourself against anyone else, you're going to be depressed. It's going to suck. Never measure yourself against anyone else. Measure yourself instead against you last year or you 2 years ago. The only person to measure yourself against is yourself, because we're all on our own path. You can't possibly understand what anyone else is living, what anyone else is doing. You can't possibly know what's in their inner lives. But you do know what's about your life. Are you improving? That's the measure, not anyone else. All right. Thanks for allowing me to rant there. Dylan, what's yours, and why is it important to you?
So this is from Ed Milet. He's a great guy. He's got a great book called The Power of One More, but you're most qualified to help the person and people you used to be. And I thought about you, Peter, in this context too, right? Is kind of the purpose of all of this, the genesis of all of this is trying to give back to folks that are trying to do what you've already done. And that's who you're most qualified to help. And this quote comes from a very powerful story that he tells about his father, who was an alcoholic for the first kind of half of his life. And when he died, Ed found boxes of index cards of notes of people who he had helped get sober, because once he got sober, he went and gave back, and he helped hundreds and hundreds of people. And that was kind of one of the illustrations of the book of The Power of One More, is one person can impact, literally, and think about all of the families' lives and other lives that were then impacted by that chain reaction of him making one decision to help others that were in his shoes, in his past. So just thought, this is a real impactful one for me, is sometimes we judge, right? We look at other people who are maybe where we were, and we judge them and say, I'm glad I'm not there anymore. Or you can look at it as, I need to go and help that person because, I know how to get them beyond where they're at, whatever it is in life, right? Business, life, relationships, whatever challenges they have.
Yeah, man, that is so well said. It's so, because, and this is the gift of age, of wisdom, right? When wisdom is a function of years, period. And, so when you've been around, the longer you've been around, the more trials and tribulations you've been through life, and the more that you can help others. You could literally say, look, been there, done that. Here's what I did to go through it. It's not like what you should do, but here's what I did, and here's how I got through it. And that is a huge thing. So that's well said. This is a great show, you guys, today. Every day, every so often we kind of hit it. This was one of those. Mike agrees. Mike and his wife Terry, we love the show. That's it, man. And Heather's like, all these quotes are so good, right, Heather? They're awesome. We're just kind of hitting it. Mike says, my wife and my wife lived on Oahu several years ago. Now for 36 years, 365, I have to listen to her wanting to move back. We are right now making plans to do that. There you go, Mike. You come to the right place, dude. If you haven't already, seriously, Mike, get on. Mike, I'm not kidding here. You want to look at islanderohana.com. All these folks that were commenting, Heather, Mark, Joan, they're all Kinaya, they're all alumni. Judy, they're all alums of the Islander Ohana. You want to get a hold of this, your wife is going to like it. Trust me. Just check it out. No obligation. Go check. All right. Well said. But Mike, I'm with you, buddy. I'm with you. There's nothing worse than having your wife tell you every day that she wants to move to Hawaii, and like, you got to do it.
Honestly, right. Side note, that's one of my biggest fears, where like, oh, if I ever want to move back because my parents are getting older or something like that, I'm like, no, I'm just going to have to figure out how to make more money and have a house in both places, because I just can't imagine, even if there's a moment like politically or something that occurs and I'm like, I need to get off this. I think about moving off, and every single day I'll be like, how do I get back? And then you have to try to afford to get back versus like just getting here and then making it happen. Stay put, figure out how to make enough to travel. It's worth it. It'll be a lifelong regret if I ever left.
And the thing is too, is like, once you leave and everybody knows that, there's a cultural thing too, because once you leave and everybody knows you left, you ain't coming back. Nuh-uh, never gonna trust you. Probably you went back to the mainland, not coming back now. You made your decision. You go. can't come back. So yeah, I agree, Ashley. Make more money so that you can buy that house for your parents to live here. I totally agree. And hey, look, see, thank you, Judy, Mike. This is what the folks are saying. I did not tell them to say this. They're doing it on their own free will. Judy says, Ohana, join it. You'll love it. Mark, do it. Your Ohana is waiting. There you go. That's it, man. Kinaya, also an alumni, stayed here for a mere 2 months and I'm ruined. Hawaii's got this thing, right? It's like it's not for everybody. This is what the Islander Ohana teaches. It's not for everybody. But if it is for you, once you come to Hawaii, once it's in your blood, you can never leave. It'll never leave you. You'll be with it forever, no matter where you are, whether you're in Hawaii or not. It is the thing. Yeah. Heather, thank you, Heather. God bless you. Heather, another alumni. Islander Ohana is like a circle of friends waiting for you when you get here. It is. This is like, and you know what? This is what's cool about the Islander Ohana. You guys made it. You folks made it. I'm just like the crazy guy that kind of thought, we should kind of do something like this. But you folks are the ones who are doing it. And it is the coolest thing. What a show today. Hawaii's Magic. Another alumni. Auntie Joan, Hawaii's Magic. It is the incredible place. There's nothing, the most amazing set of stories. Native to Earth, totally agree. I left for 3 years, right? Okay. Totally agree. I left for 3 years and the people I first met kept things very short. Meaning when you came back, right? That's like, keep it short, man. You left already. You already gave up on us. You're out of here. You're not the kind. You're not the kind. Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. I'm going to close this up here with, of course, I've got to do a Proverbs. He who trusts in his riches will wither, but the righteous will flourish like a green leaf. I think what I love about Proverbs is it's 2,500 years old, and it's every bit as relevant today as it was 2,500 years ago. This incredible wisdom, right? Trust in his riches, meaning like if it's all about the money, you're going to wither. But the righteous, like Ashley, those who give back, those who, what did you say? I'm a go giver. Go givers to return back, etc. This is what it's all about, and that is that Proverbs reflects. I love this wisdom. Daryl Scott, another Islander Ohana member. Daryl, welcome, buddy. Good to see you again. It's been a while. All right, gang. Boy, what a great show today. Really kind of worked out great. Let's do counterclockwise. Let's go. Ashley, Dylan, and then Heidi. Say goodbye.
Have a blessed day, everyone. If you're a parent, you're here on Oahu. Good luck next week getting your kids back to school.
Yeah, aloha, everybody. Have an awesome weekend.
Aloha, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Have a great weekend.
I want to really thank you all. You all made this a really, really fun show today. Thank you to my awesome, amazing co-host, but thank you to the folks like for example, like Sierra, who just put a heart, and Mike, who gave a thank you. Hey, gang, have a great weekend. Aloha.